Here we go.
Hello, hello. Finally, I'm back. Ignacy Portal Games.
Hi, this is Corey Thompson from Dice Tower Now, Dice Tower Dish.
And this is the Podfather of gaming, Stephen Bonacore, with these unbelievably bad hosts. You are listening to Board Games Insider, episode 269, and we are recording it on March 22nd, 2023. Board Games Insider is a proud member of the Dice Tower Network. And lest anyone forget, Tom Vassell ended the Dice Tower podcast, but we continue, we endure, we survive.
Good morning. Dramatic.
Good morning, gentlemen. My little intro there reminds me of The Last of Us, which is a very creepy yet emotional and intriguing zombie show on HBO Max. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this. It's pretty darn good. No?
I've watched it. I was a big fan of the video games, played them all the way through.
Be careful.
Why?
Because I had no time to watch it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Well, it's about zombies. That's it. Or, they don't even use that word, but that's what it's about. It's we won't tell you anything more. It's emotional. We'll put it that way. That's all. It's a good show. Very good.
It's a mycology documentary.
Yes, it is mycology. You find out what that word means. Anyway, Ignacy, very important stuff here going on at Portal Games. You've got to enlighten all of us.
Yeah, it's been a while since I was here, so there's things happening. In the meantime, we released a game. It's called 11. Steven is showing 51st State Ultimate Edition, which is delivered to all backers, as far as I know.
So I before you even continue, because you pointed that out, it's right here. This also sat next to me on the last episode that you could not make. So I've been showing this off. So you get value, Ignacy, out of every episode, even if you're not here. 51st State Ultimate Edition by Ignacy Chevicek and Portal Games. Go ahead. Continue, please.
First of all, I appreciate you. And please, I warn you, don't trigger me to start stories about me not being on the podcast last time. So because there is a lot of stories.
There are some stories there, but let's not trigger you.
So, 11, the Football Manager board game, and not only released at the last days of February, but I'm super proud, super happy to announce we are almost half of the printers sold out after 1 month. So on one hand, we all know that soccer is not the most important sport in America, but yet America is a big country, and there is enough fans of soccer who want to play a game about their beloved sport. So I'm very happy with the feedback, very happy with the reception. I had amazing Skype calls with distributors who were really surprised that there's so many orders and there is so many people who wanted to play the game, because at the very beginning they were very hesitant about the soccer game, and now they're restocking, and I appreciated them. And most, of course, I appreciate our fans, people who are ordering these games for the stores. Yes?
And Ted Lasso season 3 just started, so that might even give you more people enjoying a soccer/football game.
I thought it was just the release of the Catan soccer module that brought the popularity of soccer back.
For sure, we missed the World Cup with this release, but at least we catch up with the Ted Lasso season. So
That's right.
It's not that bad at all. Anyway, so 11 is released. As we are recording today on March 22nd, we are releasing first 2 expansions for the game. They're called Soul Expansion, which is an epic campaign. I think 12 scenarios, super amazing campaign for the game. And we are releasing Stadium Expansion, which adds the whole rules of infrastructure and all that jazz. You can, of course, find it at Portal Games website. And next month, we will release another 2 expansions. And the next following month, we will release the final one, the 5th one. This is an epic, great game from the GameFound campaign. We are making it like waves of expansions over the couple of months to get players to get used to all this amazing content that we prepared for the game. So once again, 11 is released. Go to your local game store, ask for the copy. If you are wondering when it will be released, when I can buy it, hey, you can not buy it very, very soon because it's getting to be sold out. So go to stores, order the game. As for the pre-orders, as Steven kindly showed the box, 51st State Ultimate Edition is on pre-order right now. So we delivered copy to the backers. Once again, thank you, Steven, for supporting a campaign. And now we are opening a pre-order. So go to portalgamesus.com and you can pre-order the copy for you. And this is, I don't know if you are aware of that. I'm going to brag about it for upcoming weeks because it is insane. This game, 51st State, was on the spot number 1 of the best games of all time, the Dice Tower, for 3 years in a row. Z Garcia is crazy. He loves the game.
Yep.
And every single year, they are recording video and they're all making fun. Yes, number 1, 51st State. So guys, if you appreciate the Dice Tower, if you appreciate Z Garcia, if you trust me, your fellow designer from Poland, 51st State is freaking amazing game. And you can pre-order it and get it with this amazing bundle that Steven has. 6 expansions in one box, which is absolutely insane to have all the content. Thank you. The last thing what's coming is our GameFound campaign for Forgal. This is our Viking themed board game, this adventure game. We published a rulebook already, so you can go and read the rulebook if you like it. I hate reading rulebooks, so I'm not going to do that, but maybe our listeners want to do that. Campaign starts on April 11th, so very, very soon, in 2 or 3 weeks, depending when you are listening to this episode. So April 11th, start of that Forgal campaign. We will, as it is very common these days, we will put the game available on Tabletop Simulator for all the backers to try it out. So you go to the Tabletop Simulator, you play the game, either you like it, either not. If you are not liking, please don't back it. I don't want the bad ratings then. If you like it, please back it. Of course, I will talk about Forgal next time I'm here in the podcast, but basically Forgal very, very soon. It is our big game for this year.
I'm so excited about that one.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And this is it. That things are happening. I'm super busy these days, but super happy. Very, very positive news for our fans and for you who love our games. So yeah, thank you for this short report from me. Thank you for listening. Let me know what's on retirement, gentlemen. How's life on your side?
I guess that's right. We're both retired, but Corey works, actually. I don't work. He works. Go ahead, Corey. What's going on?
I was going to say the same thing. Every time I hear you're busy working, Stephen, I just sit around and
no work.
So I don't have good evidence to show that I'm working. Basically, what I was going to talk about is I played a new game that I think Steven's talked about before.
Yes.
I actually started playing Adventures of Robin Hood.
Yes.
Which is amazing. It's the new title from the designer of Legends of Andor. Yeah. It is designed and illustrated. It is so approachable and easy, almost no rules to start. Basically, you just start playing and they keep adding rules in as you play. The campaign is fantastic. My family's so invested in it. It's one of these few games that comes around that I keep getting asked over and over and over to play it. This actually was a nominee for the, I believe, 2021 Spiel, the one where Micro Macro ended up winning. Both fantastic titles, but I definitely see where the nomination came from. This is such an amazingly fun game. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but it's just so free form. It's a move around the board game where there's no spaces. You basically just measure things out with the pieces. And things just happen. And it's just great. So high recommendation. Adventures of Robin Hood from Michael Menzel.
Yeah, no, I talked about this.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I talked about this a couple episodes ago that this was I had heard about it, and then I bought it at Gen Con this past year, and I just sat on the shelf of shame for a while, and I'm like, just pulled it out. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's right. There aren't any rules to learn in the game. You just start playing it, and the game teaches you the system, and the system is light, but you're going on the adventures of Robin Hood. So you're playing one of the 4, soon a fifth character, Friar Tuck, comes out in the expansion.
Yeah, the expansion's been announced.
Fantastic game, and the implementation, the components are just genius. Love it.
So I have a question. Let's compare my childhood and your childhood over the ocean. So in 80s, there was a TV series from BBC called Robin of Sherwood. Was it popular in America? Did anybody heard about this in America?
No,
Robin of
not
Sherwood
in the
from BBC.
80s.
Never heard of it.
I'm going to say that Robin Hood really became most popular for me
Kevin Costner.
when the Kevin Costner movie came
So here's
out.
the thing.
But there wasn't much television about it.
So Robin of Sherwood, this is a TV series from 1984. Somehow in this sad times of communism in Poland was one of the only things that had some of the fantasy, no Avengers, no Batman, but we had at least Robin of Sherwood. And this one TV series is responsible for the whole generation of my generation who became professional in the industry. Like if you are talking with all the people who created industry later, role-playing games and board games, we all as a teenagers were watching Robin of Sherwood, or as a kids. Interesting. Here in Poland, it created the whole generation of people, and you never even heard about this TV show.
Wow!
Amazing show with the fantasy vibe, dark, amazing stuff.
I remember as a kid in the 80s, if you turned on TV in the middle of a weekend and there was just all sorts of assorted things on that you didn't recognize, there would be Robin Hood shows, but none of them really stuck out. There wasn't a regular show that I recall.
This one is amazing, super strong story, dark, with dark magic, with sorcerers, like the Sherwood is really mysterious forest. And as I said, it created the whole of us role-playing gamers who then became interested in fantasy and science fiction.
Wow. I'm going to go look that up on my Plex server that a friend of mine shares with me. So thank you for that recommendation. Over here at the Podfather of Gaming, my news of the week is something I've been talking about. It's the game design, which is not work. So just make sure we understand that, not work. So it is my fun little hobby, continuing designing with my good buddy Jeff Engelstein. We've made some great,
like a job.
We've made some great modifications since the feedback at Dice Tower West, and we've even met with Asmodee since then, which was great. The coolest part of all of this feedback that we're getting is that the game, the game really just exudes the theme. And I can't, of course, tell you about it yet, but it exudes the theme of what we're trying to get across. And Jeff Engelstein keeps calling me the lore master in the game to highlight that. So we're going to continue iterating, and hopefully we'll have some great news for everybody within the next 4 months if that continues. Besides that, on my trips that I take so darn often, I leave tomorrow morning for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and then over to Pennsylvania to see my oldest friends in the world, which is just wonderful. It's a weekend of a little gaming, but mostly eating, drinking, and jamming, playing music.
Debauchery.
It's debauchery in his cabin in the woods kind of thing. We don't go out and do anything crazy. We sit there and jam. We play music, which is a lot of fun. So that's where I am. Let's get over to the event deck. So this first one is under the category of, which Corey particularly likes. I am not a financial advisor, and if I was a financial advisor, I'm not your financial advisor. We're going to be talking about 1985 games. They're launching an equity crowdfunding campaign on Start Engine, and that's a popular place where you as a business can then go out and get new equity for your company to help it grow and to make it not a public company, but a privately held but larger company. And here's what they're saying. 1985 Games, the makers of Dungeon Craft and VHS Dice, are seeking to raise $1.235 million by offering up 247,000 shares of common stock, a $5 a share with a minimum buy-in of $250. This Portland-based company was founded by Lenny Goder and Jeremiah Crofton in 2019 and has been expanded considerably since opening its doors. The company boasts growing 142% since its advent. That was 4 years ago at this point. reaching a $1.52 million revenue intake for the year 2021. Their Kickstarters have raised in excess of $1.3 million, and their products are currently found in over 100 brick-and-mortar stores across the US, UK, EU, and Australia. So first of all, gentlemen, have you ever heard or know of the games done by 1985 Games?
I've heard of them, definitely. They come up and people talk about them with almost like a nostalgic tone to it. But honestly, I have not played them.
Neither have I. And you know, it's interesting. These numbers that we just said. Well, some people say, oh, they made $1 million. They have revenue of $1 million, so they've made a little bit of money. Probably they could have been losing money. We don't know the P&L. We know their revenue stream. It's interesting. The last small company, like a company of this size, that went out and raised money in an equity crowdfunding campaign was Tasty Minstrel Games. And if you're unaware, Tasty Minstrel Games is in bankruptcy. They're gone off the scene. So, you know, I'm not saying to go and be part of their campaign. Neither am I saying against it. But you can check out on Start Engine if you'd like to be part of the company. Next one is interesting. It's Tabletop News launching a Kickstarter for a new Tabletop News channel. So Tabletop News is a weekly news series covering tabletop role-playing games, card games, board games, tournaments, streaming, and entertainment. Sounds a little bit like us or Dice Tower News. So there's a lot about us on here, but we cover all news. We do not stop because they're a potential competitor. Tabletop News is the first consolidated weekly news show of its kind, covering stories from not only the biggest companies in the tabletop gaming space, but also highlighting talented independent developers and showcasing unique projects from BIPOC creators. BIPOC, that's how you say that, BIPOC creators. It's a celebration of tabletop gaming in all of its forms, and we can't wait to share it with you. So, you know, on this, I think more content is good. I saw the videos; they look very professional. I've not gone and looked at their stuff at all in depth, but they're a very professional organization, and you know, I wish them well. Last time I checked, the campaign was not doing particularly well, but they still had 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, right now it's at 58,000 of their asking 150,000.
Okay.
It looks, I mean, I like the effort in this arena. Obviously I am doing a professional level, high quality video, let's say YouTube channel. I'm starting that up myself. So I appreciate other people trying to make the effort to make that level of professionalism in videos. I think we need a higher echelon there. For Just News, this is a really interesting approach. I don't know many of the people that are in Tabletop News, but Becca Scott is kind of leading it as the face of Tabletop News, and she does great stuff. I really love things she's on.
Very cool.
Yeah, for me, it's the only thing that three of us, each of us, and most likely our listeners, we are into the news. But generally speaking, there is a lot of news outlets, and none of these news outlets are like a super crucial and super important. Like most of the gamers, they don't care. They are just interested if there is a new Wingspan expansion, or maybe there's some new side expansion.
You wound me, sir.
Yeah, I'm just saying this state of the situation. The gamers just want to go to the web store, the game store, buy the game, and they don't care who got promoted, who got fired, was there the stock, like whatever. We got excited about that, so we are recording this podcast, and it makes so much fun for us. But these numbers that you mentioned, that they are not funded yet. Hopefully, they will be. All the best for them. But there's not that many people who really are just living for the news.
That is true. That is true. They want to care more about what game is coming out, right? Not necessarily, hey, who bought who in the industry.
Yep.
But a lot of us do love it. Fun Again Games, Fun Again Logistics, Fun Again the store. They're closing more of their stuff. In this case, their web stores. So it reads as this. It was a press release from them. Loyal customers, with the recent announcement of the closure of Fun Again Logistics and Fun Again Distribution divisions, we are incredibly sad to announce the closure of the website, funagain.com, due to a hyperinflationary environment in labor, materials, and shipping costs over the last 2 years. It has made it extremely difficult to operate. Our flagship brick and mortar stores in Ashland and Eugene, Oregon, will, with full game parlors and libraries, will remain open and thriving. However, after 27 years with our online presence, it's time to say goodbye and close the doors on what has been an incredible journey for serving you. So, guys, that's a very sad thing, because Fun Again was one of the big pantheon. So they obviously started with brick and mortar. They became a huge online presence, and they were one of the big ones. They were right up there with Cool Stuff, and Miniatures Market actually started a little later than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was all of these big ones that you could then, see who's got the best shipping, who's got the best pricing, who's got this. And now, like Cool Stuff, which has really gone away and not doing much of board games, Fun Again is just out. They're closing up. You won't hear from them again unless you're in Oregon itself.
It's really interesting. They're taking two different directions. Cool Stuff seems like it's really downplaying its retail and online stores and upplaying its distribution and logistics, whereas Fun Again is going the other way. Everything has gone away except for the brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of friends who've told me that they've gone to Fun Again and they're taking advantage of these liquidation sales that are going on and picking up a lot of good titles. So a little bit of a silver lining.
For me, Fun Again was the first US store who bought games from us when we were small. 2007, we went to Essen as a small publisher from Poland, and they bought the Neuroshima Hex, and a year later they bought Witchcraft, and I have a very good memories of them. Of course, the years passed. Competition is fierce. In America, you have this big store called Amazon.com, that kind of stuff.
Amazon, okay.
Yes, and I cannot even explain how, I guess, it's tough to compete with Amazon with all these prime shipping, free delivery, drone delivery. So for all the other online stores like Miniature Market or Fun Again or anybody else, they need to up their game to provide so much additional value to the customers to compete with the just simple Amazon. I have it tomorrow, or I have it even today. So it's a tough market in America for online stores.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Hey, in very sad news, and this isn't going to be a name that's known by very many people, but the Gamers Alliance, which was a very early group online that and physical that published a physical newsletter. So this goes back a while.
1986.
That's when it was founded.
Started. Yeah.
And it was founded by Herb Levy. And they have announced with great sadness that we regret to inform that our founder, Herbert Levy, passed away this morning, March 11th. Herb was an incredible leader of the gaming community, founding Gamers Alliance in 1986, and even winning a Bradley Parker Award in 2011. This is a shattering loss to his family, friends, and loved ones. We apologize to the Gamers Alliance community members, as all current orders have been canceled. Thank you for understanding and condolences. So I knew Herb. He was a regular at the Gathering of Friends. I don't think he was there last year, so I don't know if, Corey, you've ever met him, but Ignacy might have met him over the years. A very affable, nice man. So sad to hear that he's gone, and he'll be lost without a doubt. He'll be very well missed, I meant. And Ignacy's telling me we got to go because these guys talk too much. So let's get on.
Oh, these guys.
These guys talk too much. So let's get on to strategy and tactics. Marco Dubrovnik. He always puts some good stuff in here. Thank you, Marco. He has multiple questions. Do we allow that? Okay, here we go. Do you participate in the BGG Secret Santa program or any similar anonymous gifting? I did at points in my life, but I don't now For no reason other than I don't spend as much time just like on BGG and reminding and stuff. You guys participate in that?
I've done the BGG Secret Santa every year,
Oh, wow.
and I really have a good time with it. I have a fantastic time trying to figure out who I've got and what their interests are. And I have to say, this past year, I had the most amazing Santa who gave me things. This person actually created a persona on BGG that was Billy Idol and did nothing but quote old Billy Idol songs and talk about the music career and talk about everything and played it up. Oh my goodness. So there is a small chance that the rock star Billy Idol's really into board games, but I suspect it's just somebody who had way too good a time with the
Very
Secret
cool.
Santa program. But I love it. I love it.
Very cool.
I have not participated in this program yet, but my friend and corporate here in Poland, Marek, you guys know Marek, did it last year for the first time, and he was blown away how amazing it was. A great community, great gifts. He had so much fun doing that, so he strongly recommended me to do it next time.
Second question from Marco asks, where in Europe have you traveled for business or pleasure? Have you been to smaller countries like Croatia, Slovenia? I have a feeling he's from one of those. Or uber small countries like Andorra, San Marino, or Vatican City? And impressions, so I'll go first again. I have had limited travel. Obviously, I've traveled across the U.S. and places. My travel has not been to any of the small countries. I've been to England, I've been to France, I've been to Germany, and I've been to Italy. Oh, can't forget Italy. And I have been, therefore, to Vatican City, but not to any of the other ones. Gentlemen, I'm sure Ignacy's been to many of these countries, no?
I've been in many places. I hate traveling, but due to my business and due to my crazy wife, I travel a lot.
Have you been
all the
to?
time.
Have you been to?
I've been in Croatia. I've been in Croatia. I've been in Slovenia. I've been in Czech. I've been in Hungary. Yes, no, of course. Europe is like US for you. So you were visiting many states in America. I was, of course, visiting most of the countries in Europe in the different occasions. Yes, when I'm traveling, I'm complaining all the time. I hate traveling, but I have to admit I have a great memories, great food. I see some nice places. So after all, when I'm back, I'm happy. But during the process, I'm complaining all the time.
I don't get that. I mean, I get the fact that getting to places sucks. I mean, I'm on airlines.
You go to the restaurant, you don't understand the language, you don't know what you order, you are risking your life, you don't know what you will get. Like there's so many situations that I'm scared of everything, dude.
You really are.
I prefer to stay at home.
You really are scared of like everything. I mean, I don't understand you. So I mean, why would you be scared of talking to somebody? I don't know. Corey, how about you? You go to Europe?
I've been to Europe a number of times. I lived in Germany for a little while.
Oh, so, that's right.
Usually, when I go to Europe, I'm centering kind of around Germany and neighboring. So I've been to Italy and England and Germany and traveled around there. But I definitely want to see more. I have a good friend now in Croatia, Ivan, who keeps inviting me to come out. It sounds like the most amazing trip. So that's definitely on my short list.
He continues, question 3, do you hike? What's the highest peak you have climbed? And will Ignacy take Stephen to beautiful high Tatras? He has a big emoji there. I have been on Risi and Kriven. It's beyond beautiful. So again, I don't hike truly regularly, though I have when I go to places like Hawaii. There's so many places that you have to walk to go see. So yes, those kind of hikes, but not on a regular basis. And while I've not climbed anything high or walked up anything high particularly, I have driven, hold on, to 9,500 feet in Colorado, and then rode horseback at that altitude, got incredible headaches there. Then took the horse to 11,500 feet and got a splitting headache again at that altitude. It's amazing what oxygen. What do they call that? What is it called? Sickness? Whatever. It's oxygen deprivation. Altitude sickness can do to
And
you.
you need to remember that Florida is flat and sea level, so this is all new.
That's right.
Thank you for warning me to not climb.
There's one more thing he won't do.
I am not a hiker.
So I'm not a native speaker, but I think hiking is just walking, like sightseeing. Yes?
Hiking normally is walking in a wilderness or some kind of setting like that.
I did it a lot when I was in high school. Sometimes I do it in my adult life, and I like it. When I will be retired, as you gentlemen, I'll be doing more of the hiking. So this is something I like. I like just walking through the forest, and this is cool. Climbing seems dangerous. I never did it, and I'm not planning to do that. So hiking, yes. Climbing, no.
This is my favorite question of all time. 4. Would you go on a trip around the moon in SpaceX's Starship like those billionaires for free if you were invited? Would you game, and which games would you take on that trip? Let me tell you, I would go today. I would drive right now to Cape Canaveral if I can get onto a Falcon 9 rocket. That one's proven. Or a Falcon Heavy rocket. Or any of the ones that are currently in service that are human rated. Tomorrow. Starship, when it's ready, I'm on it. I'll be there. I mean, you got to do it for free because can't spend that kind of money, but I would do it. Would you guys would forget about Ignacy. All right, let's just take that off the table. He ain't getting on any rocket, I guarantee. You, Corey, you would not go on a currently human rated rocket like a Falcon 9, very reliable rocket.
I probably would. It's a combination of a couple things that I run through my mind. It's a roller coaster because you're going to feel the gravity and the push and the swing and the zero G, and that's not something I love. I don't love roller coasters. And then on top of it, it's an amazing view. But I've run into the same problem with telescopes and astrophotography, which I've done for a while. Is it really better for me to take my telescope out in the yard and look with my own eyes, or to log into a really good telescope in some national center and see it on my computer screen? It's that separation of reality from visuals when really you're looking at something abstracted anyway. So I'd say no for me.
I'll just answer for you, Ignacy. The answer is no, correct?
It doesn't sound dangerous.
I'm flying to America in April for gathering of Friends of Moon, Moon, right?
Yes.
And I'm already scared.
So I'm
already sleeping in bed. Seriously.
I feel bad for you. You need.
It's been a long break from my last flight. So once again, I'm sleepless.
You need a psychiatrist.
So all 3 of us are going to be at the gathering in April, or we going to do like a live episode?
We will 100% do a live episode from the Gathering of Friends. Yes, we will record there without a doubt. Maybe we'll be live. We'll do a live one. That'd be fun. Number 5, Marco, you've way used all your... No, I'm kidding, Marco. Please keep contributing. Would you fly in a 0G aeroplane like the Vomit Comet? That's NASA's thing. That's NASA's thing that takes you up in a parabolic trajectory and then comes down so you feel weightless as it's coming back down. Ignacy, for how many euros would you do it? 1 million? Yes, I would do it. Ignacy?
There's no price. There's
no price. But no.
There's no enough money on this planet.
10 million euro.
No.
Really?
It's really, I no.
You wouldn't do it. For 100 million euro, you wouldn't get in that plane and do it.
What I would do with this money after I'm dead of scare, like I would it would be for my family because I will be already dead.
Corey,
I like Dead of Scare.
Dead of Scare.
I'm going to use Dead of Scare.
Corey, would you go in the Vomit Comet period, or would you do it for money?
I might. I think it would be really interesting to be weightless, although I'm not afraid of it being dangerous or anything like that. This is really proven. It's been done over and over and over. There's been no accidents, but I would get sick, and that's the big thing that would stop me.
Wow. We have a long question here from Luke Dixon. So I'm going to start, and I don't know how to digest this one. I'd love to hear your thoughts concerning Catherine, the Cities of Tsarina, a capstone games release from earlier this year, especially as it concerns the intersection of the tabletop gaming hobby and geopolitical current events. the game received significant pushback and negative ratings from BGG users given the game's theme and the current, not to mention historical, conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The ratings breakdown shows bad ratings, right? Which might help illustrate the strong reaction some users had to the game. So, all right, let me go first, if you don't mind again. I apologize for always going first here, but I don't know anything about this game. Fine. It's a historical game. Fine. Well, if you want to go, Corey, you seem like you're...
Oh, no, I was really excited about Tsarina. I've been watching Capstone pretty close. So when Capstone announces a new game, I usually look into it. And I did pre-order. I actually got Tsarina from Europe and played it. It's a light Euro game. It does take place in a historical period in the Russian Empire, and it covers areas that are both Ukraine and Russia. But I think we're looking at a bigger issue. There are a lot of designers and themes that are now overlapping the conflict in Ukraine. And it's the old idea of where do you separate art from process. And on top of that, it's also bringing up the issue of if you're upset about a theme or a designer or a situation, do you bombard that game with low ratings? This has historically happened all the time. And part of the discussion in the question is that 100 of the 350 ratings are ones, which are basically just put there to stuff the ballot box.
Of course it is. So, Ignacy, what do you think about this? I'll go last.
Yeah, this is ongoing problem that the BGG rating on the one hand is super smart and I appreciate it, but then it has this small problem. So what Aldi many years ago came up with this idea that the rating says how much you're willing to play the game. And this is cool, and you say, I'm super willing to play the game, I rated 10, or I'm not going to play this game, I rated 1. And then users are mixing this urge to play the game, which meant if you like to play the game, with the political point of view, with the hating of the designer, etc., and suddenly it becomes a political game of ratings. So we will see, we saw many times problems with rating when people were playing. I'm rating it 1 because I am not willing to play the game because I hate the designer. And he's actually true. He's saying the actual sentence that makes sense. It makes sense in terms of the BGG rating, but it is not as Aldi invented and intended this rating to be. So we will have this discussion over the next 10 years, and it will be the same point.
Now, specifically, it seems like there's a number of very good Russian designers, and the games are taking a hit. There's a whole bunch of companies bringing out games that were super popular, but they're downplaying the fact that the designers are either from Russia or from these areas in conflict. And it's not the fault of the designers. I know personally a lot of these designers who are very against the political situation and want to leave that, but are powerless. But they're caught up in it. So should the game be associated with the political conflict?
These games, the ones that we're talking about, at least this one in particular, is a historical. At least it seems like it's a historical. I play war games. I think many people have played war games based on World War II. It's the single most popular war game topic, especially because of the way the conflict unfolded in Europe. People play Hitler's army in these games. I don't think there's a single person out there would say that, oh, well, there are. But there's not many people out there that would listening to this that would say, oh, yeah, the Germans were great. The Nazi Germany was great. And it was a wonderful thing. And I want to play them. No, you play them because you're reenacting something. It's an historical. That's it. So if this game is a historical reenactment of what was going on at that time with Catherine the Great, there's nothing wrong with it. If you want to rate it a 1 because of you don't like Russia, it's childish. It's just like being childish for the fact that people are putting whatever, Gloomhaven is being rated lower so that Brass Birmingham goes higher. It's childish. Just rate the game, whatever you think it is. It doesn't make sense to do anything else.
Do you think that now all those people say, oh, Stephen is right, I'll update my rating?
No, 0 people will have changed their mind based on what I just said, which is fine, but I'm calling you childish. As simple as that. And now let's get over to playtesting. Last week, we had Corey give us a question because it was Ignacy's turn. And
before we go, because For the last 45 minutes, I not complained about the many situations that happened, but I cannot stand any longer. Who stole my question that was in the show notes about the AI? Who did it?
Well, I don't know, whatever it's you got to go back
Because
and take a look.
I had notes for my question and I put it in the show notes, and then I see it disappeared because somebody used it as his own. So
no. We credited you with the question, but we had to go
it
back.
Was an amazing question.
It was an amazing question. We've got a lot. If you go stop complaining, will you? Go take a look at the great comments you got about AI affecting board gaming in 12 months and 12 years. I think it was an amazing question, and we took all the answers and gave you credit for them. My gosh.
Thank you. I appreciate this comment. Thank you.
Good. You want to complain about the fact that we didn't record with you also when we were in Dice Tower West?
Oh my God. I think that we will keep it for our live episode from Niagara. Like, I will go full in with that.
Oh, perfect. Anyway.
Let's tell Ignacy the wrong time for the live episode. Just the two of us.
You have some experience with that, right? So
he'll be jet lagged anyway. All right, Corey, please read the question that you posed last week for our listeners and viewers.
So I posed. I've noticed in many modern board games that regardless of skill level, the various players' scores tend to be very close. There's definitely some games designed so that new players do very well, and this rewards single plays of games. In contrast, there are definitely publishers, such as Splotter is the most famous of the lot, that pride themselves in being a more complex, unforgiving game where experienced players will completely dominate over new players, rewarding repeated play. So I threw out there, how does the public feel about this? Have you seen it in games? And there was a third question which got answered more times than I'm comfortable with of, am I crazy? By the way,
and if I may, instead of choosing one of the answers from the fans, which you can guys do, I will answer it myself.
I would love that.
Well, we always
very interesting question.
We always like to answer the questions, which we did last time. But go ahead.
But this is very, very interesting case, because on the one hand, when you're very close to the scoring, you feel that the game was tense. It was me or him, like it was so tense. But so this is good feeling. But on the other hand, if you play these Euro games that are perfectly balanced, and you did one strategy and he did the other strategy, and you both end up with the 100 points versus 101 point, you see like this makes no sense. Like we made all this effort and we ended up with the same. So I'm in the camp. I prefer to destroy opponent or be destroyed. Like I prefer to see that yes, I crushed them or he crushed them, and the game allows to these big differences in points. If somebody played very well, he's just much better, even though it is so nice sometimes to be, oh, I just won by 1 point, it was so tight. I know these are cool moments, but overall I prefer to have a big win between scores.
Corey, did you find any interesting answers in the thread we posted? If not, I will go.
The answer no will be very unpolitical, correct?
No. I thought all the answers were really amazing. I do like, especially Eric Lungabeck, just answered them very straightforward. 1, 2, 3. One, welcoming games often do seem to be designed so that the score is close for obvious reasons, as it's not been a thing for some time, and have they just gotten better at it? And he says he enjoys both. 2, he's definitely seen games that have this enormous swing. And 3, yes, Corey is crazy. So
our friend Marion put one up here, and she said, this is an interesting concept and something I never thought about until Corey mentioned this concept to me first on the Bonna cruise, Podfather of the cruise. And I have thought about it since then. As a gamer who does love heavy Euros, but sometimes does feel intimidated by them and or worries about just embarrassing herself in front of other gamers, I never mind coming in last in a game, but I do feel bad coming in terribly last, well behind everyone else. Even if it's a new game I've never played before, it will discourage me from trying that game again. and it will make me feel like I'm not a great gamer. So actually, yes, I do feel better if I can do respectably well, and not get completely blown out, but it will encourage me to play that game again and try better in the future. We found that in the game that I'm designing right now with Jeff that it's absolutely going to be rewarded by multiple plays, but you never get blown out in a game. I think that the way I view things is that getting blown out will give a bad feeling. So it's rewarding multiple plays good so that you can have disparity, but always having everyone close. I never played before and I come like really close or I win versus somebody who's played the game 100 times. That's not a good thing either. There's got to be a balance between those two factors.
That's really the bottom line, is the balance between rewarding a first-time play and making you excited about the game versus rewarding repeated play. There's one answer in here that's been pointed out a couple times is really hitting the nail on the head. It's from Evan Halbert. Says, definitely this is a thing. The industry has changed. Players on average play each game fewer times, so designers have changed over time to account for this in many ways. Rewarding repeat play is great, but the more important metric for buzz or sales at this point is how a player feels about and ratings, reviews, recommends that the game after that first play. You don't get as many second or third chances for a player to love your game, and your window to create buzz is much smaller before the next thing comes out and pulls focus. Most companies have to keep up with market forces like this in order to keep going in these times. So again, the balance there.
Right. Very, very, very interesting. So this week, we have an Ignacy question. So Ignacy, what is your question for everyone?
Did you correct it already? Have you corrected
I have
it?
not. I have not corrected your English yet.
Do you want to embarrass me in front of all the public with me reading my own question?
We actually did it last week.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I just corrected it on the fly. Read. It was very close. The English was very good on this one.
Have you ever asked your favorite local game store to order a game that they didn't have on their shelves? And now, what's the context? Why I'm asking it? So when I'm discussing with distributors lately a lot about restocks and ordering games and how they purchase the game from the vendors, etc., they say that the whole chain of distribution is the customer, the fan, goes to the store, says, I want to buy 11. I want to buy Wingspan. I want to buy this game. Then the store says, there is demand. I need to contact my distributor. And the distributor says, there is demand. I need to contact vendor. And me, myself, as an introvert, I don't talk with strangers. I don't talk people. I don't go to stores and tell them, hey, you don't have this item, would you order it from me? When they don't have this item, I just go online and I buy online. I don't talk to store owners, whether it is a game store or a bookstore or any store. So for me, this concept is very weird, to approach the store owner and discuss what they have and what they don't, and if they can order it for me. So I'm asking you, the community, the listeners, and of course you gentlemen, if this is a standard and I'm weird, or this is not standard and nobody's doing that.
It's a really interesting question. I know that personally I have. But then again, there's always the timing that happens in there. If I actually go up to the store owner and say, I want this game, am I going to get it faster from them because it has to go through the whole chain that you just described? Or am I going to get it faster from an online source? And that's, I tend to go for speed with these things.
Right. So, while my answer is no, I haven't done it. The reason for my answer being no is because I've never had, and I've lived in, cities, densely populated areas, right? I've never had a friendly local game store that I played at. They've always been far from my house, and my friends didn't go there. They would come to my house or I'd go to their house. So if I had a game store that I went to regularly, the same one, I would 100% say, hey, get me one of those, please, because I want to support the store. I very rarely care about speed of getting a game. I just care about getting the game. I don't have one here. I didn't have one in New Jersey. So sadly, I haven't done this But more people should do this, assuming they are hanging out at the game store or go there, on a regular basis. Good question, Ignacy. So right now, Ignacy, I would appreciate it if you created a thread for us on Board Game Geek in our guild. Please go there, fans, and answer this question in that playtesting thread. Post your answers, and we'll take some of them on the next episode, and Ignacy will complain about the whole process. In the meantime, let us get to final scoring. Thank you all so much for listening. Help us spread the word about this podcast by telling your friends to download Board Games Insider wherever they like to get their podcasts, or you can now watch Board Games Insider on the Podfather of Gaming YouTube channel. Do you want to be part of this podcast? You can. Just ask us questions for our strategy and tactics segment by posting them in the correct thread in our guild on Board Game Geek, and also answer our question to you from our playtesting segment also by going to our guild on Board Game Geek and looking for a thread with this episode's question. By the way, are you not a subscriber into our guild? Are you not a member there in our guild? We're one of the biggest guilds out there. So go to Board Game Geek, get to the guild, click on it, be a member of the guild, and join this discussion. And check out our websites, which are portalgamesus.com, podfathergaming.com, dicetowerdish.com, and dicetowernow.com. We're all over social media. So interact with us, please, on Facebook. It's /BoardGamesInsider, /PortalGamesUS, and /PodfatherGaming. Go like those, please. And you can speak directly to Ignacy and Steven on Twitter and Instagram, which is @PortalGamesUS, @PodfatherGaming.com, and Corey @DicetowerDish and @DicetowerNow. And the very active YouTube channels are Portal Games Movies, Portal Games Gameplays, and the Podfather of Gaming. TikTok, Ignacy, before the Chinese close it all down, well, US closes it down, it's Portal Games US. We really would love to see you in person at an upcoming convention in 2023. So if you come to one of them and we talk about it and we're going to be there, please come up to us, talk to us, game with us, have a drink with us. We really live to do that with gamers. Board Games Insider is professionally edited by Joshua Bowman from Tabletop Submarine Podcast. If you want your podcast edited by Joshua, reach out to him at tabletopsubmarine@gmail.com. Also, that great voice you hear doing the intro, outro, and in-between segments is that of Ray Greenlee. He can be contacted to do voiceover work at raygreenleevoiceover.com. Gentlemen, I see Ignacy typing literally as I ended. He's typing something special that he would like to say right now. I'm not sure that this is special or he's just going to annoy me. So what are you saying, Ignacy?
I just want to say to our listeners that Steven is really leading this whole thing every time for these 269 episodes. Instead of it pre-constructed and just cut in to the podcast, he's wholeheartedly reading it every single time with the passion, and I love you and I appreciate you for that.
I read it badly every time, but at least it's got passion, it's got drive, and it's a little bit worse or better each time.
A for effort.
Everybody out there, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
See you, everyone.